All right, folks, today we're going to talk about sound, something we should be familiar with. You need to define amplitude. All right? Be very, 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 very careful. All right? Amplitude is not A. A lot of students will tend to do this. This is wrong. This is not the amplitude. The height of a wave is always from the origin to the height of a wave. So it would be this distance right in here would be the height of a wave. Okay? That answer is C. Your amplitude is C. And your wavelength is the length of a wave. Now it is the length from the top of this wave to the top of this wave, or the top of this wave to the top of this wave. Or it could be from the bottom of a wave to the bottom of a wave. It doesn't matter. Right? Bottom of this wave to the bottom of that wave. So D is clearly your wavelength. Now, as your frequency increases, which one of these is more frequent? And if you're thinking about a wave hitting the beach, which one's going to hit the beach more often? It's this one. So that's more frequent. This will hit the bottom one is going to hit the beach with less frequency. So as frequency increases, what happens to my wavelength? Well, look at my wavelength. My wavelength here versus my wavelength here. My wavelength up here is very short. So as frequency increases, wavelength decreases. I do not expect you to memorize that. Just draw two pictures, figure it out. Which one has the higher frequency? Clearly this one up here has the higher frequency. It hits you more often. Down here this one has the lower frequency. Which one has the longer wavelength? Well, clearly this one has a long wavelength. Because this up here only has a very short wavelength. Finally, if the amplitude of a wave increases, let's go back, if the amplitude of a wave increases, that's this guy. If the amplitude increases, what happens to the sound? So if this wave, instead of being something like this, was something like this, sorry, lousy waves, what would happen? What does that mean? Well, for sound, that means it gets louder. For light, it means it gets brighter. If the frequency of the pitch decreases, the frequency of the wave decreases, what happens to the pitch? If the frequency decreases, the wavelength increases. It slows, it gets bigger, it hits you less frequently. If the frequency goes down, the pitch goes down. So it sounds like a lower note. So think of a bass violin or a string bass versus cello versus a viola versus a violin. Right? As the frequency decreases, meaning you are going towards the bass, the pitch gets lower. All right, I think that's it. If you have questions, see me in class. I'll be happy to help you.